So Binance has confirmed the Luna Classic burn tax, but there's a catch to all this. So we're going to talk about that today. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let's get straight to it. So this is huge because this was just released today by CZ Binance, the CEO of Binance, and this is for Luna Classic burns. So let's go read this. So Luna C burns and Binance. So first of all, says, will Binance support the Luna Classic burn of 1.2% for every trade? And he was asked on this about the AMA, on the AMA, and he was asked this on the Twitter space there. So he answered it just very briefly, and then he came and made a whole article about this on Binance's official website. And let's just talk about this because this is really big, but it could also be very bad for Luna Classic. Let's be completely honest. It says a while back he was asked about Luna Classic, blah blah blah. People misinterpreted what he said, and it says, and I responded that the project needs to implement it on chain first. This comment was a bit open of interpretation, and many people thought this meant that if it happens on chain, Binance will implement all Luna Classic burning off chain too. This is wrong interpretation. I didn't make any promises. My comment was simply that as a business, we couldn't consider implementing something that isn't done on the protocol level first. Now let's consider it. And that's kind of true. You got to think about it. What if it's like a shipping company and they're going to ship something somewhere, but they have to change the protocols because people want it shipped a certain way, but the shipping company that ships to them hasn't even changed their protocols first. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So let's keep on going with this. It says taxes on the centralized exchange. So let's talk about how he's pretty much going to combat this. So it says we need to think about the game theory involved. Everyone may want all platforms and chains to burn 1.2% at every transaction, but people want to see the supply decrease. But things change when it directly impacts their balance. And this is something I was talking about. When you have a 1.2% tax burn, now a lot of people are going to want to start doing day trades and stuff. It's going to lower the volume. It's going to make it less and less viable. It's going to make it less and less attractive to the eyes of large investors. And you got to think about this. Big shout out to the whole baby Doge army. But like you look at it, a 10% tax burn that kind of stops people from wanting to trade. So whenever baby Doge pumps, it's because of something big that we come out with our utilities. It's because something that comes out in the community, some kind of hype that pushes it forward, brings it up. But see, when you get these type of tax burns like the 1.2%, it's not going to allow Luna Classic to grow like it wants to grow, like people want it to grow. But it can still continue to grow, just like Baby Doge. It continues to grow with more utility. Luna Classic, the same thing. The whole Luna ecosystem, it's going to be the same thing. It's still going to grow, but it's just going to change the pace at which it grows. But anyways, let's talk about how he's going to do this. So this is what he said. So step one, we will implement an opt-in option for people to opt in to pay 1.2% tax for their Luna Classic trading. Meaning, if you want to pay 1.2%, you can do it. But if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. So let's be honest. You can give me $1,000 out of your $100,000, right? Actually, 1,200. You can give me $1,200,000. You can give me $1,200 out of your $100,000. But if you don't want to give me $1,200 out of your $100,000, you don't have to do it. And when you look at it from that perspective, do you really think people are just gonna hand out free money? Like people are not just gonna burn their money and throw it down the drain. There's a lot of people who are like diehard Luna Classic fans, and they will do that. They will do that to a T. But then you got people like large institutional investors. They're not gonna dish out their money. Then you got people that are bigger. You got big whales. They're not gonna dish out their money. You got people who day trade. They're not gonna do that. So this is going to be a very big hurdle for the Luna Classic community. So, anyways, this could cause a huge drop in the community if this next step happens. So look at this. Step two. When the opt-in accounts reach a holding of 25% of the total Luna Classic held on Binance, we start to charge 1.2% tax for all opt-in traders when they trade Luna Classic. So this is pretty much what he's saying. When everyone who opts in for this 1.2% tax burn actually opts in for it and holds more than 25%, at least 25% of Luna Classic holders on Binance have opted in for this, then they're going to change it for the opt in traders 1.2% tax for all the opted in traders, right? This prevents people who don't hold Luna Classic to affect the votes. It also gives the early adopters peace of mind that they are not the only few paying an extra 1.2% tax, and the tax only kicks in at 25% quorum. This should encourage them to opt in more easily. Okay, cool. But then you got to look at step three. Step three, when the opt in traders reach 50% of the total Luna Classic trading volume on Binance, which means everyone who opted in is 50% of the people on Binance using Luna Classic, 50% of them opted in. That's what he's talking about. We will roll out the 1.2% trading tax for all Luna Classic trading. This prevents large Luna Classic whales who may hold large amounts but don't actively trade to influence votes. Now we got to look at this. So, when the opt-in traders reach 50%, right? When all of the people who trading Luna Classic, 50% of them opted in, then they're going to be like, cool, we're going to put this in for everybody. What do you think about the people that don't want to opt in? Well, what they're going to do, they're going to sell before step three comes in. So they're going to end up selling. So then if 50% do opt in, which is very unlikely, but if 50% of people do opt in for this, that means the people who didn't opt in now have to pay that tax as well. Even though they didn't want to, now they have to do it because of this step three. So this is going to cause them to sell out before that happens. That's why you've seen Luna Classic drop. I'm going to do a whole technical analysis on a separate video, but that's why you've seen the price of Luna Classic drop the way it did. Now it's at 2.5. So this is gonna be big for Luna Classic, whether or not it's successful or not. But the second this was mentioned, it dropped huge. But now people are buying back in and it's recovering. But I'm gonna do a whole technical analysis on what's gonna happen now. But right now, I just do not see the continued growth of this. I don't think that this is sustainable, but I do believe there is still huge potential inside of Luna Classic. I think there's huge potential here. But right now, with this whole tax burn, I think this is gonna it's gonna let down a lot of people that expected more of this. But I do think there's still more growth for Luna Classic to come in. But anyways, this is pretty much all I got. But also over here it says if the threshold for step two cannot be reached within a month of the completion of step one or falls back below the threshold in the future, we will remove the opt-in feature to keep simple experience for the users. So pretty much if we cannot even pass step two here, if we can't get at least 25% of the holders to opt in, then they're going to be like, you know what? We're just going to cut it all out. So yeah, this is big. So if it doesn't reach this level, they're just going to cut it and then boom, they're not going to do it anymore. So let me know what you all think about this inside the comments. Let me know if you think this is actually going to play out, if you think that it's going to go up to the moon. Let me know what you all think of this. Me personally, I don't think this is going to play out in everybody's favor. People aren't going to want to pay this tax burn. It's not going to play out like all of the big, huge Luna Classic fans are. Because if you be honest, you go on Twitter, you're not seeing millions and millions of people liking and commenting on this post saying push the tax burn. You're seeing thousands of them doing that. But what are you seeing in the actual Luna Classic trading? You're seeing billions of dollars flowing through here. All those billions of dollars aren't coming from those thousands of people. They're coming from large institutional investors. They're coming from whales. They're coming from people with big money inside of this. So I don't think that they're going to be wanting to pay this tax burn. The big community for Luna Classic, they will happily do it. But the people with the real money behind Luna Classic, they're not going to do it. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you all think about this. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. As always, I'll be back with another video.